Hey, good people, how you doing? Welcome to yet another episode of 254 Rugby. We are previewing the Driftwood Sevens, the fifth round of the 2024 Sportpesa National Sevens circuit. It is the business end of the competition. Everything to play for. We all know that close fight between Kenya Harlequin, Cabras, and KCB. All still in contention for the overall title. And as usual, joining me is Walter Orangi. How are you doing, Walter?
Very good. Thank you, Mike.
Yo, so let's get down to it. It's business in Mombasa this weekend, man. Everything to play for. The pools are there on our screens. We're going to start with the preview. Obviously, we start with Pool A. KCB, they were the best team at the Kabeberi Sevens. They won it for a third time in a row, adding to previous titles. They head into Mombasa in fine form. They are top seeds at the Driftwood Sevens. They're in a pool with Masinde Muliro, KU Blackblood, and Mombasa. What an interesting pool it promises to be. But maybe you can just take us through what you expect from that pool, Walter.
Yes, Michael. Rightly, we are going into this weekend's games, brimming with a lot of confidence. There's quite a lot of expectations. Looking at what KCB is all about, and you're not far from saying it. And this is an opportunity for them to strike while they're still hot. Fresh from winning Kabeberi, KCB had the likes of Vincent Onyala, Samuel Asati, and then they had quite a number of guys that they bought from a couple of teams from that is the Kenya Cup sides. They brought in Tyson Maina, they brought in Davis Nyaundi, they brought in Floyd Wabwire, so that really bolstered their squad moving into Kabeberi. Now, Pool A for Driftwood Sevens, KCB, Masinde Muliro, Kenyatta University, uh, and Mombasa RFC. This is a pool that KCB has everything to play for, considering that they have, they have Masinde Muliro, who are another tough customer. Masinde Muliro are not an easy side to play against in terms of the sevens. And if you have something to really push KCB to the wire in terms of full play, you have it. You have Masinde Muliro. Now, somebody else in that pool who is a very good competitor is Kenyatta University, Blackblood, and of course Mombasa, who are making their circuit debut, playing at home. I don't see much from Mombasa. I don't see much from Kenyatta University. There is a challenge between Kenyatta University and Masinde Muliro for the second spot, but I have KCB as top leaders in that pool.
Okay, yeah, like you rightly put it. The teams venye unaziona hapo, KCB, Masinde Muliro, Blackblood na Mombasa. Mi Walter, mi nacheki from this pool, naona KCB na most waki top nini the table on day one, au ndio quarter finalist wangu from pool A. Wewe unaonaje?
Ni kweli hawa wasee wanakaa ni kama wamekuwa consistent. At least unaweza ona most, hata ukiangalia league standings, most are quite placed decently. KCB wako number 3, they are chasing that top standings in the league. So hakuna vile utaniambia Mombasa, who have not been playing sevens. Mombasa hawajacheza sevens, so inakuja kwao kama shoka kweli. Kaka, hawa ni kina nani hawa tumewapata leo, credit has to be given to what a challenge is Masinde Muliro and KCB, but at the end of the day, I don't see any of those other two teams Black Blood and Bat beating most KCB to the position.
So kwa hivyo wewe umesema which teams unaona zikitoka hapo, KCB na
Hapo ni KCB na
okay, I'm in agreement with you there in Pool A that it will be KCB and most to the quarterfinals. So hebu tuende Pool B. Menengai Oilers. Hii team wamekuwa in 2 finals. They've lost both finals. They lost Kabeberi finals to KCB. They are in a pool that also has Daystar Falcons, Nondescript, and Two Marines. I think Oilers are good enough to make it to the quarters. Hiyo team ya pili ambayo itatoka kwa hiyo pool, in my opinion, itakuwa ni Nondis. But Nondis wali blow hot and cold at Kabeberi. I do expect that the break was good enough for them to regroup and, show up with a business like mentality. However, hii team inaitwa Daystar Falcons. Daystar it inaweza cause problem to Nondis. They're just a typical university side, but pia itategemea how they woke up on the day. Two Marines, they're just there to make the numbers. All due respect, they're there to make the numbers. And I mean, it's good that the teams from the coast are participating here, but I feel they're out of their depth. So for me, from Pool B, mi nacheki itakuwa ni Oilers na Nondis. Unaonaje?
Ni kweli Michael, vile umesema, ukiangalia Pool B iko na Oilers wenye wamekuwa waki raise their hands, but they've lost in a couple of finals. We have Daystar Falcons, we have Nondis, and we have Two Marines. Kwangu battle ya number 1, 2, 3 iko between Nondis, Daystar na Oilers. Alafu kumbuka kuna wale wachezaji wa timu ya raga ya Kenya, wale vijana wa Shujaa wale ambao once they're included in the team, there's that you can always tell the difference between an Oilers side with Kenya Sevens players and an Oilers side without, because looking at, if you pull away the likes of Dennis Abukuse, I thought John Okoth had a mixed weekend at Kabeberi because of that injury. The rest has come in quite handy for most of the teams because the squads were being tested, and of course with squad depth you can always challenge anyone really. So hauko mbali na jibu ukisema Two Marines wako hapo kujaza herufi ama ni zile nambari za kitabu, lakini at the end of the day I also strongly feel that Oilers will come through as the top team in that pool. Daystar Falcons and Nondis will battle it out for the second position, and Two Marines unluckily will be in that number 4th position in the pool.
Safi kabisa. So I mean, those are your predictions. I gave mine. Looking now at Pool C, Kenya Harlequin, Kabras Sugar, Nakuru, and Mwamba. The interesting statistic here is all these teams are previous winners of the Driftwood Sevens in previous years.
Yes.
However, their fortune is contrasting right now. At the moment, it is Kenya Harlequin and Kabras who are in contention for the overall title. Kenya Harlequin doing well this season. Pau Mrunga, like we said, really working with the boys. Ametengeneza squad moja safi sana. Players kama Leon Nyang, Amon Wamalwa, Lucky Dewald really coming up to the fore. Kabras Sugar, well, I saw a picture which should be ominous. It was a picture that was posted on social media. Ilikuwa picha ya Jone Kubu and Kevin Wekesa, and that was a very loud hint that these guys are back in training and definitely going to be in the matchday squad to Mombasa for the Driftwood Sevens. Remember, Kabras in a good position. They kind of lost their spark at Kabeberi. I just feel that with the return of these two gents, Kubu and Kevin Wekesa, it just changes the whole equation, not only for the Driftwood Sevens, but for the overall title, because these two, in my opinion, is like four players coming into the squad. The the power and pace of Kevin Wekesa, and then the skill and game management of Jone Kubu, I think will be what they need to make that final push for the overall circuit. But now, from Pool C, barring any upsets, barring any catastrophes, mi naona ikiwa ni Queens na Cabras wenye watamake quarters from that pool. Nakuru na Mwamba pia wana struggle. So those are my opinions from Pool C.
Well, Pool C is a very interesting affair. Unajua tena Kabras wakiweka picha online, unajua ule admin wa Kabras wanakuanga na mchezo. Ukifuatilia sana sana, if they drop hints, sometimes those hints are meant to to stir up the fan base. But anyway, it would be a very, very good thing for Cabras to have an inclusion of John Kubo and, of course, Kevin Wekesa. I had an opportunity to watch the Sevens in France last weekend, and Kevin Wekesa was taking part. He was representing Monaco Rugby. And I thought he had a decent outing. They came through with the main cup win in that specific tournament. And I feel like if anything, Kevin is ready to play for Cabras if called upon by the coaches. Now, looking at the battle that they have for the overall standings for the National Seven Circuit, I believe it's timely for them to come through the senior players, because Cabras, like you said, have faltered slightly because of that lack of leadership in terms of maturity, because they've had quite a number of young players represent Cabras over the last couple of legs. So I believe if they do show up, that is going to be a chance for them to really push for that top position. Now, the other team in that pool is Kenya Harlequins. Kenya Harlequins now work on, where I would put them is they are top of the league and they're on slippery ground. They have to win this tournament for them to keep themselves in contention. They have, of course, for the last couple of weeks, suffered a couple of injuries to their main players. They had the likes of Leon Young, who has been very instrumental in making sure that they have that strike rate. So I don't know if the break has been enough for somebody like Leon to make a comeback, but Kenya Harlequins will definitely field a decent squad. Like you said, Pau amekuwa akifanya kazi, amechonga kikosi hapo cha vijana wa Kenya Harlequins ambao, to me, that's the future of Kenya Harlequins, because there's nobody else coming to play for Kenya Harlequins. So the ones called upon will definitely put on a show. It's important to note that Kenya Harlequins have to be in that cup semi position or cup. They have to qualify from the group. They have to be in the cup semis. If they can, they have to be in the finals to keep themselves abreast in the top of the standing. So kazi kwa Kenya Harlequins. Kwangu, that pool C will have Kenya Harlequins and Cabras going through as league leader, as in top of the pool and runners-up. Nakuru and Mwamba, unfortunately, will not have enough in the bank for them to challenge the top two. So I'm looking at Nakuru and Mwamba finishing in third and fourth positions, respectively.
Pool D, for once, is very straightforward. The Catholic monks, their spectacular season continues. I expect them to make it to the cup quarters from this pool alongside the Strathmore Leos. Ingaje inakaa tricky, hizi teams zingine Stallions na Zitek Oaks, unajua sasa hapa I think ni weather ya kila mtu. It's just chaotic rugby in Pool D, but I feel that the Monks and the Leos have garnered enough experience. I think they just have that cutting edge, but they should guard against overconfidence. That is my feeling. They will be in the cup quarters on Sunday. Unaonaje, Walter?
Hey, pool, Michael. It's one of those hardest pools I've ever had to call. I remember at Kabeberi, Cup quarterfinal time, Strathmore high flying from day one lost to Catholic monks in the Cup quarters, and that meant they dropped out of contention for the overall Kabeberi trophy. Now, here's another opportunity where you have Strathmore Leos, Catholic monks, the Stallions, and Zitek Oaks. Now, whoever wakes up well on match day one and takes their game seriously from the onset has an advantage in this one because it is a very, very open pool. Any day you have Catholic monks beating Strathmore, you have Strathmore beating Catholic monks, you have Zitek Oaks, who are very, very competitive, playing against Stallions. Stallions, very unpredictable. They've held their own for the last couple of weeks, played in the Division 1 category, and now, wanaenda Mombasa kama wenyeji, hawajainvitiwa, wako, they've earned it, and it would be wrong for me as a pundit to call this and say, this is a specific pool that has 1, 2, 3, and these guys are going to be winning from match number one. No, this pool has Stallions can beat Zitek. They have beaten Zitek this season. Zitek has beaten Stallions. Leos, barring a catastrophe and barring a calamity, this is a pool that I honestly feel like Leos should top because they've consistently shown a glimpse of what they can do. Not really achieving what they want, but they've shown us a couple of glimpses because Kabeberi, they took down giants, they took down top teams, faltered in the cup quarters. Here's another opportunity for Coach Foxy to pick a side that can compete over the next 2 days in Mombasa. So I feel like Strathmore Leos should top that pool. Coming in second, unfortunately for my Stallions, it has to be Catholic monks because Catholic monks have had that experience throughout the season. They've been very, very consistent. Their rugby is, they have decent offloads because they understand that going into contact most of the time because of the body size and the difference in body size and weight is a disadvantageous thing to them. So they've consistently played with keeping the ball alive. So I expect them to continue with that same spirit this weekend. So I'm tipping Quer and Strathmore Leos to go 1 and 2 in that pool. Number 3 in this case will be Zitek Oaks, and number 4 will be Stallions in pool day.
Well, that's awesome. At least we've been bold enough to give our predictions when you want to make quarterfinals. Now, who's your money on to win the Driftwood Sevens?
Now, ni vizuri umesema because pesa already iko kwa meza. SportPesa wameweka kitita cha 1,100 kwa mshindi, 50,000 kwa naye kuja namba 2 na namba 3 wako na kitu of course. Now, kwa pesa yangu yenyewe nikitaka kuweka pesa katika mchuano huu wa Driftwood this weekend, Michael, there are two things that really make my decision making on this specific weekend because we have you saw KCB really do so well with the new kids on the block, and of course the returnees from the national team. Vincent Onyala was very, very instrumental in making sure that KCB were decent. You had OJ who was playing. I feel like OJ has very many. How do you put it? When somebody's at peak, he has very many peak seasons. He's done quite a number of seasons at KCB. He's peaked before he's played for the national 15s. He's played for the 7s. And here's another opportunity. He's well into his 30s now, early 30s, and I believe he has that experience to guide KCB going forward. But if in any case, the national team has scheduled their trainings and are asking national players to pull out of their respective club sides, then that also throws the spanner into the works. Now, it goes back to who has the squad depth that can be able to challenge for the Driftwood Sevens. It's going to be interesting because the squads haven't come out yet, and it also depends on who is going to be named on these 16 teams. But barring any changes from Kabeberi Sevens and, of course, returnees, the likes of Kevin Wekesa and company, and, of course, John Ekubu, I feel like it's a battle between KCB and Cabras going into this weekend in Mombasa. Kenya Harlequins are going to come short slightly because I feel like losing Leon Yang is going to be a very, very big gap to fill. So my money is entirely this weekend. We'll have two teams garnering for my money, and that will be KCB and Cabras. And if you ask me if the squads are going to remain the same and with the inclusion of anaitwaje Kevin Wekesa, pesa yangu bado inabaki hapo KCB.
Okay, I will disagree with you for disagreement's sake, and so that we can, have a wager. I'll put my money on Cabras. So what happens if these two teams make the final? If KCB win, what do I owe you?
If KCB wins, next weekend we are doing Prince-Louis Sevens. It's going to be remember, this is the semi-final stage to me for the National Seven Circuit. So during the finals, Michael, you will have to find ways of paying your debt. So let's have a look at what I can get from Nakuru that is interesting enough.
Smoking Billy up or Gulu Lounge?
Lunch at a Gulu's, and I'll eat the best meal that they have on that specific day.
Day watengeneze tu matumbo na mboga ugali.
Hiyo pia ni chakula, Michael. Kama hiyo ndio best dish that day.
Cool. I think, yeah. So like I said, my money is on Cabras for this one. You've called it as KCB, and I don't want to be like the Kenyan Parliament, just rubber stamping things. Let's agree to differ. Well, it's been a great episode of 254 Rugby. Obviously, I'm in a new environment, so trying to settle in. But as always, let's compare notes next week, and let's keep sharing and spreading the gospel of rugby. So until next time, I'm Michael Kwambo signing out.
Lovely. Until next time, folks, my name is Walter Orangi, and hopefully we'll catch you in our next episode.
Great. And, as we come to the close of this episode, there is a good friend of ours, a good friend of rugby, Harold Roldi Tende. He's a cancer warrior, cancer survivor, a rugby man as well. He's played his club rugby in Mombasa and then at Strathmore Leos before, obviously, the illness got him away from active rugby, but he's remained involved with the game. And just like to put out an appeal to anybody who will catch a hold of this footage. This is for Harold Roldi Tende. Let's join him in his fight against cancer. Let's support him by contributing to the account and the details that we will share on the screen shortly. Let's do this for Harold.